The angels came through today to clarify the energy that we're stepping into. I've mentioned that April and May feel like we are ramping up to receiving a lot of light on the planet. And as we move through and have been moving through February and March, there's been a lot of darkness kind of rearing its head. And we're continuing to move through this time to clear away any blockages so that we can step into these higher energies for ourselves. So let's hop in and see what the angels have to say about this and what we're heading into.
Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light coming? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light coming? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light?
All right, before we hop in, I, of course, have one announcement. First, I want to say thank you to everyone who's been donating. I see you. I appreciate you so much for being here and offering your contributions to me. It means a lot. Okay, I also have something really big coming in April, and I can't wait to put this out for you guys. It is a community and academy that you can all join where I will be building a library of teachings, channeled teachings about the universe, how the soul works, our energetic history, and I will be bringing through channeled teachings, and they will be accompanied by a meditative prompt so that you can tune into those teachings for yourself and receive your own information. So this is going to be a big bulk of what I'll be offering in this community. There's going to be ability for you to connect with other like-minded souls. And then I will also have other offerings and classes in this community that you can take to help build your intuition and discover your soul mission, discover past lives, and different things for yourself so that you can experience an abundance of soul growth and start stepping into the truth of who you are and activate yourself as a pioneer for New Earth. So please, if you're interested in joining me in April in this community, it's called the Quantum Soul Academy. You can check the link below to get on my email list to be the first to be notified when this opens in April. I hope to see you there. If you're looking to develop your intuition or any of these things and you've been on this path for a little bit and want to go to the next level, this is for you. So with that said, let's go ahead and hop into the message that has been brought through today and the clarification that the angels want to bring through about the energy that is coming in for us later this year. So I'm being shown images of a tall building, like this skyscraper, and it's almost as if this energy comes in and splits it in half and it starts to crumble. And the feeling I'm getting is that when things start to crumble, which it feels like as we move forward in March, things in our personal lives and the world are going to start crumbling more and more and more. And there's a difference with this crumbling. Instead of things just being so chaotic and it feels like it's just like, why is this happening? We have this past experience with a crumbling that feels like there's more desperation or misunderstanding with it. Why is this happening to me? Please, someone save me from this. There's this new energy that feels like it's emerging, and it is. We see so clearly now with this crumbling. As things crumble, it is going to be so apparent what is dark and what is not. And it feels like there's this strength that is coming out of this crumbling. I'm getting this sense that we see that the crumbling is serving more of a purpose now, as opposed to, again, why is this happening? We have to fix this. This is the fix. The crumbling is the fix. It is always been meant to happen, and the raising of our consciousness and our energy is now causing it. And it feels like this month of March, we are standing in more awareness. And as things crumble around us, as the darkness in our life and the world rears its ugly head more and more, we will stop to look at it and say, oh, I see what is happening, and not wondering, why is this happening? It's as if we're being given the opportunity to see very clearly what is what, that when the dark shows itself, we catch it very quickly. We know what this is, and we are making a choice to not be a part of it anymore. So it is almost showing itself in this next month rapidly and over and over and over again so that we can make a different choice. Oh, I've experienced this. I'm all good with it now. And we are choosing to part ways with this consciousness and this energy so that we can step into higher. And we're making a different choice instead of, why is this happening? And falling into victimhood or resentment or lack or any of these things. We instead move into our power and say, oh, I do not want this anymore. It's happening and it's here, and this will be my final experience with it. That's the energy that I'm feeling. It's as we recognize and see more and more what's happening, we say, oh, I see this. And that's all that has ever been meant to happen is that the dark is here and we have to see it. As soon as we see it in a different light because light has now been shed on the darkness. And it is no longer darkness to us. We're no longer afraid of it. We no longer want to indulge in it. It has now been brought to light for us. And we now step into that light instead of that darkness. And we say, okay, I do not want to experience this anymore. So I will go through the experience that is happening right now and make a choice for myself energetically so that I don't have to experience this again. Now, we can always decide differently and decide to step into this victimhood or this fear and allow it to take over, and we can keep playing in this energy. There is this choice, but it feels like a lot of us, with this crumbling happening, with all of this stuff coming up to the surface, we will now see the jagged edges and choose different. They're showing me this crumbled building, and as all there's this, this avatar that I'm looking at, this person that is looking at the crumbling in like this city that has been their existence for so long, and they're seeing like the metal piping and framework that has held up this building for so long. It's now this jagged edge sticking out, and seeing the harshness of what has held up the reality for so long. And this avatar in this vision that I'm seeing is now going to choose something different. It's looking at all of this crumbling and this chaos and saying, I'm not going to fall into this like everybody else is. I'm going to choose different. And I can feel their energy pulling more towards this calm, this natural state in nature, as opposed to like this city type feel, which just feels claustrophobic and everything is um, made in a hurry and in this fashion to feed ego and darkness. Not saying that all the cities are like this, but it is more of the metaphor that they are showing me. And it is all crumbling now of what has not only held up society, but especially it's our individual life. It feels like that we are really being faced with this so we can make a new choice. And when we do, we lift up into this new plane of existence and this new timeline that is more peaceful, more flowing. There's much more light. And we keep moving up even from there. Again, it feels like April is this golden light and May is this white light, but it feels like we have to go through this dismantling and this crumbling first to really see what is and what has been so that we can make a different choice. It feels like in May there will be new connections that are going to be made for a lot of us. It feels like they're showing me that we won't be as attracted to connect with the world as we know it or knew it. We won't want to engage in a lot of, the television, the things that the third dimensional world offers. Instead, we'll be more interested in taking the plugs that we had to this old world and wanting to now create connection with this new world, and that is each other. It's new ideas that will be coming in for us that will then seek us to find people to create these new ideas with. I'm hearing there's going to be a lot of collaboration coming forward and connection as we all step into our individuality and then we're connecting with each other. So it feels like The crumbling of this old world that will really be happening this month. And even in April, it feels like in May, we're in this other plane, and I see that there are new connections coming in. They will naturally find each other. We will naturally feel called to certain people and places, and these connections will kind of naturally come about as we follow our heart and our deepest desires. It feels like these ideas, they're going to be dropped in with this light that is coming in the springtime in the northern hemisphere, which I guess would be autumn in the southern hemisphere. But again, April, May. May is really the month that I'm feeling. So we're gearing up towards releasing our plugs from this old world, and then we will be plugging them into each other, which feels like it's equal energy, it's higher consciousness, and we're creating this ecosystem with each other that exists in our bodies right now due to the consciousness that we hold. And since we're creating this new network with each other that will begin, it feels like in May, then from there, we start to build out this new earth with the ideas, the downloads, the light that is coming in, the information that is available to us. It will be coming through. And then we put it into action and make it physical starting in May. April is gearing us up towards that. It feels like we're getting these individual ideas, these inklings, these warm energies in our heart of, oh, I could do this. We're getting the ramp up right now. So it has to crumble. There has to be the rearing of the heads of the ugly darkness that wants to show itself in our life, the cracks that are in our life that we're letting it seep in through so that we can have better boundaries and we can, spackle up these holes that have been created in our reality so that we can move forward and springboard into this new energy. If we have plugs or cords that are still tied to this old earth that are moving through these cracks in our foundation, when we go to jump off of the trampoline and launch into this new space, we will still get held back from the cords that are tied to this old earth. So we are releasing those cords, feeling that we need anything from any of these lower energies or that we need to allow them in any way. So what's happening is we are being shown the cracks in our foundation and we are learning how to seal them up so that we can make new choices, set new boundaries, speak more of our truth, stop having our energy drained. And then there is this ramp up that happens in April where, okay, we're getting refreshed, rejuvenated. We are feeling this energy just soaring through us as we really step into this new power that we have claimed for ourselves. And that opens up into this umbrella of light that wants to come in, that will create new connection in a very positive way, where we get to be regenerative for each other's energy. And our expertise, our skills, our talents now get to be shared. And I hate to use the word that we plug into each other, but that is the best way I can describe it. Whereas it's not a sucking in or a dependence on each other, it is a connection, which is completely different. This is the energy we have to look forward to. It is more about connection and the sharing of ourselves instead of feeling like I have to give of myself to help fix or save other people. It is more, I am in my power and my individualness. So is the other person or the people that I'm connecting with. And since we are all completely regenerating ourselves, we then regenerate each other because we are in our power, and so is the other person. We are realizing our gifts and our skills and our powers, and we're fully in them. And we're not trying to do something that isn't us or isn't for us, or do something for us, someone else that they can't do. Instead, we are fully in the power of our no and the power of our yes and what we can and cannot do. Who we are is more clear to us. And this is how this time right now that we are moving through is helping us. You have some planetary alignments that are happening in March and some celestial events that are helping to crumble and release out anything that doesn't belong anymore, that will show you the cracks in your foundation so that they can fall away and be patched up with new materials, with a new sense of who you are, so that you can come back into your true power and have a solid foundation as you move forward. So trust this process. The challenge, the messiness, the chaos is on purpose. You are worming your way through this energy to become very clear about who you are, what you want, what you will tolerate and allow, and what you will not. It is going to become so steadfast within you, and you are getting the practice of stepping into that now and not allowing any energies to attach to you or come into your field that do not belong. You are fixing the cracks in your foundation in the month of March. So they're making me feel like this solar flash that is coming is the initiation into this new world, this new earth, and this connection that will be coming. But even more so, it feels like this light that is coming through is more of our angelic presence. So I've been feeling this for some time, and they're bringing this through, and they're saying that the angels, the archangels, are like our oversouls. So it's almost as if we each have a specific angel that we descend from. The soul splits and it fractals into many versions. And it feels like as the angels split, then those versions split, and then those versions split, and then those versions split, and it becomes us. And this flash that's coming through puts us into more of a direct line with that angelic presence, or I would say like oversoul that we come from. And we're going to be put into more connection with the other, I would say, versions that come from that angelic oversoul as well, and that presence. So there are, other human versions of us, there are extraterrestrial versions of us that all come from like this descended version of this angelic oversoul. And it feels like we will become more in touch with our angelic line and that energy. And it feels like I'm even seeing a blanket of this energy becoming more present on the planet. And they're saying this is what that fifth dimensional energy is. It's like the angels are putting this overlay energy so that we can connect more into their presence. And this will be more available when we head into the fifth dimension. We're stepping more into our angelic energy. We're getting closer and closer to it so that we have deeper understanding about who we are. Okay, so I just want to clarify this fractaling that happens from the angelic presence. So this is what they're showing me. Basically, up here, we have source, okay? So this is like source energy, where everything comes from. And source will fractal off into, say the archangels. Kind of looks like a sun, doesn't it? And you have all these archangels then, right? And then these archangels, since they're the first like split off a source, then they may split. And they have different versions of them, right? So they're all splitting. And then those splits go boom, 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 like into however many they choose. And then those split. Okay? And it happens, all the way down until it like comes to us here, And so these versions up here of the split, this could be like, some lower angels here. So we have the archangels, and then the next version of angels. Then maybe it's like, okay, so the next version of angels, then we might have some ET beings here, and these break into other ET beings, then maybe an ascended master, and then these break off into that becomes like you, and then you have, let's say there's other lifetimes that you're splitting off into, and it feels like from this lifetime we split again, and we're going to talk about that. So this looks insane, but these are all like we come from this one source, soul, that then fractals off into all these different pieces. And this is also how we're all one. We talk about we're all one, unity, consciousness. It's like, of course, we're all coming back to this main source that we all come from. So to me, it feels like this flash is also, I'm seeing these angels coming in and standing in front of us and like opening up this energy in our heart space. And it's like this flash appears. So it's like there's this connection that happens from what we would call the sun or the light that lights up our planet, and it connects into our heart. And it's like this flash like opens us up as we burst into this next level of our angelic presence, this light, this grander, higher consciousness. So we have greater connection, not just to each other, but to the higher realms and more of who we are and all of these soul fractals of ourselves that we can connect to. It's like the system of us that's coming back online. Um, it's almost as if the future versions of us, like the Arcturian beings that I connect with, one of them is like me from the future on a different planet. And then we all come from this same angelic oversoul. So we work as this team because it's like it's all versions of me. And they're saying that we will step into these higher versions of us. So like we will become the higher self. And this flash is just initiating us into that next level. And they're showing me that as we do this, oh, I just got to chill. How I've talked about the earth sheds and there's a layer that sheds off. They're showing me as we step into this energy of the flash, this angelic presence, there is this shell that comes off of us. I'm seeing a shedding. We shed a whole skin, and it's like this, the layer of us then drops down and kind of uh it's not us, it's the shell, and it kind of goes back to the space that it needs to kind of reconcile everything it's been through. So it feels like a lot of us, when this flash happens and this piece or this layer sheds off of us, it becomes its own entity. And I'm seeing it going to like this school to learn how to be a guide for those left in the third dimension. And it goes through this training. So it's almost like a lot of us may become an energy of similar to an ascended master, where we have mastered that plane. We've had the experiences that we need, and this fractal of us will serve as a guide for those that are still in that dimensional plane and helping any of those souls who are wanting to graduate to this next level. It's as if we can assist and tune in that way from that version of us. And once it is like complete, it's no longer needed, that version of us will go off into, other parts of the universe and assist, and it can even morph back into this version of us and connect back in. But these layers that we shed are not for naught. They all serve a purpose, and it feels like this final one that we separate with, that sheds off, will serve a purpose to become that of a guide. And then the physical versions of us that ascend into this new earth, we will be meeting into this collective and this connection to put our soul missions into physical action and really create what this new earth will physically become. So we are being invited into more of our angelic presence and angelic operation, utilizing that energy as we move forward and that remembrance to create more of this source energy, this angelic presence into this new earth. That is more of the energy that we are accessing. We are getting closer to it. If you think about the dimensions or the realms, as you get higher and higher and higher, that's going to be the angelic realm, the God source. We're getting closer and closer and closer to it. So we're going to be able to access more and more of that energy and understand it and feel it and incorporate it into our beingness. And we have the opportunity to not just step into the fifth dimension, but all the dimensions and tap in and keep rising up. And it will be easier as we get into this next plane and get in touch with this angelic presence that is here. Um, they're showing me again the angels coming and just opening the heart, and it will blast open this light to come in, and we step into more of our true source selves. Okay, I've changed angles here, but it's okay. I want to talk about this layer that they're talking about that we're shedding. So a few videos back, I'll link it at the end of this video, I've talked about how the earth is shedding this final layer. So are we, but we're working with this layer right now. It's helping us. So here's you, or us. Okay, and we have like this layer kind of over us. It's this last one, and it's holding all of this information as well. So we're kind of working with this layer that might have even, like the cracks in it and stuff. And it's kind of holding all this information that we're gaining from the experience in the third dimensional world. And right now it's like being pulled off. It's like shedding off so that it then just becomes its own layer. Okay? So, and then we're just here like this. Doesn't mean we're smaller. I'm just trying to fit it into that space. So we're separating right now. The layer is here, and it's going to be shedding off. And when the the flash comes, it's going to help push that layer off of us. So then that layer is going to dip down into, I hate to use the word down, but it's going to get sent into this other kind of realm where it's going to like this school. It feels like Ascended Master School. And I saw a bunch of people there. So a bunch of other souls are going to be going to this Ascended Master School to take all the skills. Basically, this layer holds everything that we have really learned from our experience in the third dimension. And we're going to take that and use it to create mastery and guidance and become more of a guide to help people who are still dealing with these lower energies and pull them out of it. Just like we have ascended masters right now, like Jesus and Mother Mary and Kuan Yin and, Saint Germain, we're going to, a lot of us have signed up to become like them and be a guide. So we'll master this earthly plane. We've experienced everything that we need to here, and we understand it, which is kind of, to me, I'm like, wow, that's boggling my brain, but I guess it would make sense. So a lot of us will be doing this. And then there's this physical version of us, this one right here, is going to be going to, this one is going to New Earth. So this will be the physical version of us that heads into the New Earth, the planet Earth that's fifth dimensional. And we're going to start physically creating out this new Earth. So there's this energetic layer that pulls off and starts to go to this Ascended Master School, which is this one right here. And we get to help and guide others and be a presence for them to tap into. We want you to know that as part of you fractals, these layers that get shed and fractal into a different experience, you're not losing, it's not taking your energy, you're not losing out on anything. You can connect with that version of yourself. It is you getting to have more experience. This is why the soul fractals off, so it can experience more and more and more, so that it can bring it all back to itself and raise it up. So it has this higher intelligence by experiencing the lower and going through these schools of thought and energy. So then it can help other people rise up into their own angelic presence. So you are not missing out by splitting as well. So this shell that sheds off of us is not dropping to a lower plane. It is dropping to another space in existence to go to this like Ascended Master School to work as a guide and become a guide. So it's not dropping lower. It feels like it's taking all of the knowledge that it has gained, that you have gained, and putting it to good use. So you are taking a lot of the knowledge that you have gained to create boundary and new foundation and not have any cracks in that foundation, so that we can create the new earth. So the physical part of you is doing that, and the ethereal spiritual spiritual energy part of you, and this other part is going in to work as a guide and connect with other souls. So it feels like those of us that do ascend, we are in this plane that will exist around the earth that others can access to receive understanding and information to help them ascend as well. So it is the version of us that has been through this ascension process and gotten to that other level that will then help other people at this other level as well, and other waves who are standing on the bridge, helping them. And we are all um, working together, these versions of us and the other folks who are still wanting to grow and learn and ascend and climb up this ascension ladder. So trust this process and everything that you are going through. It is all a preparation. It is all feeding into this higher dimensional energy that is coming through that we have been striving towards. It feels like it's so close. So know that as we move through this next month, month and a half, that you are being prepared, that you are releasing yourself from any attachments that have seeped through the cracks that keep you tied to this third dimensional world and keeping you stuck in this lower existence. So just recognize them as they come up and do not feel disempowered. Know that this is an empowering state that it is pushing you into so that you can make a different choice and move through. Saying, I don't need to experience this anymore. So what is the power it's asking me to step into here? And then take action into that power. It might be saying no. It might be letting somebody go. It might be cleaning clutter out of your house. It is learning or teaching you to step into more of your power and own existence and individuality and independence so that you do not need anything from this third dimensional plane any longer. You have this trust and deep knowing within yourself of where you are headed and letting that light carry you to that place. There is so much light coming, connection, deeper, higher connection that is wanting to come through, and keep feeling that centered pillar through your body, carrying you into that space and releasing you from any cords to this lower plane. You can feel into that golden pillar of light coming through your center, that white pillar of light, and looking at your body and seeing what are these strings and what are they tied to? Is it what people think? Is it, money? Is it feeling like, you're a victim because of health or whatever it may be? Is it a certain relationship? Where is it that you have these cords still attached, thinking you need something from them? Whether you need an apology, it could be any of that. You don't need any of it. You just need you. You need yourself and your light, and that is all. And we're asking you to continuously get in touch with that space within yourself and trust the process, that the more you honor you, the more you are allowing in your light and your angelic presence that wants to make itself more known. This is where we are headed. So please be gentle with yourselves, and we ask you to feel into the energy of the end of April and starting in May, and how that feels different from now, knowing that this is what you're being carried to. And what is the big thing that your soul is learning to step into so that it can invite in that light that is wanting to come? It is more of your power, but what does that look like for you? It is different for everyone. How are you stepping into more of your power and honoring you at all costs? It is trust in the universe in this process. It is many ways that you are doing this. So how is it showing up for you? They're saying that this is part of what the Mercury retrograde will bring: clarity, understanding of, oh, this is how I'm stepping into more of you. While, you know, Mercury retrograde might bring communication stuff, they're saying it actually is going to bring through more communication with yourself so that you can understand how to move forward from a greater essence of you, of honoring you and your presence. This is what we're asking you to do in order to step in and connect with our angelic presence and the angels themselves. We have to be more solidly in ourself and our power. We have to meet that energy at its own level, which is I am fully in the essence of me. That's why the angels shine so bright. That's why their energy is so big and bold, because they are fully in the essence of themselves. They have boundaries. We will not come in and show ourselves to you if you are stuck in that victimhood. We need you to lift yourself up to that level so you can receive more of us and the message that we need to bring through. So in order to receive our angelic presence, we have to step into our power. The angels have boundaries too. No, I'm not going to come down and save you and scoop you out of your victimhood. You pull yourself out of it in order to connect with me. They're waiting for us to get to a certain point so that we can receive their presence, which essentially is us. So we are being asked right now to step into more of the presence of who we are so we can receive more of our own light and this angelic energy that's wanting to come through. The flash is like a flash of realization. Oh, this is who I am. I'm going to invite it in. It's like we get flashed with that, an image of who we really are. If you think about that word, it is flashing us our truest self. And we get to say, yes, I invite that in. I no longer need to swim in any of these lower energies. I finally see it. I get it. Boom, that's the moment it happens. We're all coming into this collectively, but it is also an individual process. It is a moment of invitation that we are going through right now. Should you say yes, we invite you into it. Should you say no, we understand you need more experience in this realm. So, what do you choose to experience? Shall it be that I look at the crumbling and see what it actually is? What the darkness actually is? Oh, I see that this person has been lying to me this whole time. Okay, I deserve better. I'm going to move on. Oh, I see how I've been hanging on to this relationship because I keep hoping that this person will change, but they never do. And I keep hoping for an apology or that something will just feel different, but it never happens. I'm going to let this go. I see how I've been manipulated this way. This is the rearing of the ugly heads. I see that as I try to people please and be nice in this way, I create a crack in my foundation and a cord goes through to connect to this lower plane and hope that it loves me back because I've been so pleasing. This is what we are lifting out of, and much more. How have you created these cracks, and how can you seal them up and step into more of your power and own essence to invite in this angelic presence, this light, this flash of realization that wants to come through to lift us into the higher planes? Know that even if it feels chaotic and messy and hard and challenging and difficult, you are still moving through it. It's all about the choice that you are choosing for you. And none of it is wrong. It's just about what you are choosing at this time, of which you would like to experience. We thank you. The invitation is here should you choose to accept it. There's so much light headed your way. The angels.
Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light coming? Do you feel the